over my haul. It has been a minute, so I am going to talk about the projects I've completed and also go over the yarn haul that I had from the Los Angeles County Yarn Crawl, as well as visiting Vallona's Needlecraft, which you'll remember is the last shop video that I did. So let's go ahead and go over what I have been making. So one of the big issues that I've had is that I have a lot of yarn. Not, I mean, you know, compared to other people, maybe not, but for me, I definitely have a lot of yarn and it was starting to spread. So I needed to make up some space. But in trying to figure out how to make up some space, I decided that I had 6 big balls of a super chunky yarn. And so I thought, well, you know, this is the easiest way. Let's get through the super chunkies and that'll be the quickest way to get rid of some yarn so I can make space for some of my others. So in getting rid of the 6 balls of super chunky yarn, I was able to put away all of the yarn from my Bay Area Yarn Crawl video. So like I said, it's been a minute. So what I was able to do is in the book, Hip to Knit. No, I'm sorry, Chunky Knits. It was in Chunky Knits. The book's from 2003. I'll put an image up here of the video. There was a sweater that has some very cute little drop stitch details on the side, and I thought that that would be the perfect thing to use my super chunky yarn for. And while the sweater in the book is solid colored, this yarn was so pretty, and it was the, what was it? It was, excuse me, so K&C chromatic print in the color Plum Pie. And it's just such a pretty color. I mean, it has all the pinks and the purples and the browns, and I thought it was more autumn-like something that would be like Halloween related, maybe fall related, harvest. Plum Pie is the name of the color. And in the book, they had a picture of a basically turtleneck sweater with the run details on it. And I looked at the amounts that were needed to make a sweater from that, and I was able to make this really awesome sweater. This only used 4 balls, which was much less yardage than what the pattern said. So I'm not sure when it was mentioning how many balls were used, if it was like 4 and a partial or whatever, because it definitely was not the same yarn as in the original pattern. That left me with 2 more balls left over. So one of them I made a hat from, very cute little chunky hat. You can see this on. It is big enough for an adult. Fits right on. Has some fun little details there with the boop, boop, pom-poms. This was from Hip to Knit. This one is a hat pattern that was listed inside the book. Again, Hip to Knit, you're looking at it being published about 20 years ago. So all of these patterns that I'm doing right now are all basically vintage patterns at this point. I'd say retro more than vintage, but they are all about 20 years old or older. The third one that I got was a scarf with pockets. This was also in the Chunky Knits book. And being able to use every last scrap of yarn on the balls. Like, I had just a couple of pieces of fluff left over from when I made the 2 pom-poms, which was the last thing that I made. So I literally had just a couple of little scraps left. I went through every bit of those balls of yarn. So that covered the main space. I was able to fit in my storage container because I got rid of those, all of the yarn that I had from the Bay Area Yarn Crawl. I obviously have picked up yarn since then. I have made a couple of other projects to try to go through my stash. First one is this crocheted shawl. It's called the Sunset Shawl. This is from I believe it was Interweave Knits magazine from Interweave's Crochet magazine from 2016. It's called the Sunset Shawl. Picture of it here. This I used some of the yarn from my Bay Area Yarn Crawl haul, and it was from Firebird Yarns in their Fade Frenzy pack. And then I had purchased at the Arania Knits in Hayward a shawl kit for the Belly Pop shawl. And this is the shawl from that kit. Very cute, yeah? You have to wear a little up around your neck and such. It's very, very pretty colors. I like the green fade, and then the red border just brings it all out. I really enjoy that pattern. I'm going to, as much as I don't do a lot of crochet clothing, I probably am going to end up making more of these shawls because this one was a really easy pattern and it was pretty quick knit, very fun. I think I made this in 2 days. So it was very, very quick to knit. I did do one other pattern for some stash busting. It was a little girl's ruffle dress. And I'll show a picture of both the original pattern and then a picture of the dress itself. The dress ended up being a gift for a friend of mine, so it's already out of my hands. So I don't have it with me to show you, but I do have the picture of it, so I'll just post it right here. That being said, not piled on the bed here is 10 skeins of KC Essential Cotton yarn. This particular color is called Full Moon. Isn't that pretty? Kind of a silvery color. I got these because they were on clearance during Joann's final days, down to like, I think it was like $3 a ball. So didn't spend a whole heck of a lot on that, but it was the last cotton I got because, again, I live in Southern California. It gets hot. Cotton's a great substitute for wool when it comes to fibers for the area. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get to the haul. So I did go to a local shop in Orange County that's called Vallona's Needlecraft, and I did purchase some items there. These are all lace weight yarn from Cherry Tree Hill. Now, Cherry Tree Hill is a company that is no longer around, so you're not going to be able to find this unless you specifically go to Vallona's or maybe other locations that have like discontinued yarns and such. This is actually, believe it or not, a lace weight possum yarn. Go ahead and show that there. And it is 40% merino, 40% possum, and 20% silk. There's 480 grams per hank. There is a rather large lace knit pattern that I want to do. The last time that I attempted it, my kids were very little, and they had pulled the needle out of my lace work, and so I never ended up finishing the project. So I got these because I like doing lace knitting, and I wanted to have a nice big project to show for it. I've also picked up while I was there some Debbie Bliss, and I got it in this baby cash merino. I got both this cream color as well as this more of a plum color. This is to make a smaller version of my shadow knit scarf or shawl that I'm making for the Gallifrey One convention that's next year. So the pattern itself, the one that I'm making, is getting really big and heavy. So I wanted to use a smaller yarn. So I got these yarns to be able to make a smaller version of it out of that. What we have after that is what I got during the yarn crawl. So we're going to start out with my favorite thing, which is an emotional support chicken. I got the pack to make the Shohen Otani because, again, Los Angeles, huge Dodgers fan. I also figured if you didn't want to do Shohen Otani, then there were a few other options that you could do, like Freddie Freehen or Kike Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez. If you wanted to go more old school, you had Oral Henshiser. So, you know, little fun things like that. But this one's going to be fun make. The Shohen Otani chicken. So, looking forward to making that one. And that was at the Knitting Tree in Irwindale. So, then we have the Sweet Georgia in lime. I got 2 of these, I believe. Hold on. Oh, you can squeak down there. I hear you. I have Olive Fiber Arts, and I have Fiction Fiber. These were also purchased over at the Knitting Tree in Irwindale. Actually, Yeah, these are both both of these were from trunk shows that were going on at the location. Fiction Fibers, I bought some of their yarn when I was at the Bay Area Yarn Crawl in a yellow color, and so I really thought that this light green would go well with that yellow color, whether I knit it or use it on my loom. One of the two. I think it'll work really, really well. And then Olive Fiber, she is in Georgia now, but used to be here in California, and that's actually where she learned how to dye yarn. So she came back to the store, since that was her home store, and had a trunk show there. This particular color is called Broken Crayons, but this very, very pretty colorway. Can't wait to work that up. We have Wonderland Yarns and 29 Bridges. These were both from Wild Fiber in Santa Monica. This one, the Wonderland Yarns, the color's called Confetti. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on it, but it has a very pretty sparkle, so it has some of the Angelina in it. And 29 Bridges, this particular yarn is carried there. It is, this colorway was unique to the Yarn Crawl. So I went ahead and got it, and it was colorway was called Reiku. But very, very pretty colors from there. I also have Cumulus Rainbow. These are cotton. This was from the Little Knittery in LA. I made a cardigan. I'm sure you've seen it, the little lace pink one that I have, out of this same yarn. So I thought it might be fun to make another one, and do it in blues and greens, and have another matching cardigan to go with some other things. This is some of the softest cotton that I've ever felt. I absolutely love this yarn. Then I got, this is Twisted Ambitions yarn. This is a mellow mohair silk lace. So it's 64% kid mohair, 36% silk. Twisted Ambitions I got at the Altered Stitch that is now up in Lake Balboa. This one I got because I do, again, enjoy lace knitting, and I thought it would be fun to do something with these two blues. It's a very pretty color. Colorway name was Ice Ice Baby. Thought that was cute. Sometimes I'll get a yarn because it has a fun name. That was one of them. This one I got at hair clip, Buku Yarns. And this one is their name brand from the store. The owner of the store does do all of her dyeing herself. This one is called One Hit Wonder. It's very pretty. This one is, I believe, a worsted, it's a DK weight, and it's like kind of like a boucle texture. Very pretty. Not sure what I want to do with it yet, but I will find something because the colors are just so striking in that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So that was from Buku Yarns. This is from Wool House, and this is the Costa's Hummingbird, and the brand was called Wood Warbler, I think. But it was a brand I haven't seen anywhere else. This one is fingering weight. It says fluff fingering. It's baby alpaca, merino, and Pima cotton. So this one, again, is just very, very soft and lovely yarn. I'm sure it's meant to be held with stuff. I'm not one for holding strands of things together. This one, the Sweet Georgia, I believe that I got this one over at Phoebe's Needlecraft in Claremont. Gotta love a really pretty fingering weight. This one again has some sparkle in it. Pretty green, color is lime. And this one is, says Cash Spark. It is partially cashmere. I'm not seeing, I think there's a sticker over the, oh, here it is. Superwash Merino, Cashmere, and Sparkling Stellina. So again, another really pretty sparkly yarn. These three, I picked these up at a Stitch in Time. This one was in Bellflower. I did not get to this store. Was it a Stitch in Time, or is that one of the Bay Area ones? Hold on one second. Knitting Tree, L'Atelier. Yeah, Stitches in Time. I didn't get there during the yarn crawl. I went a couple days after because I still wanted to have a chance to see the store. It's not one that I've been to before. I like the store because there are a lot of more budget-friendly yarns, a lot of Plymouth, a lot of Cascade there. And it just was kind of nice because if you are on a more budget-friendly end of the scale, need to find yarn with a little bit of a lower price tag, those are nice brands for the lower price tag, because a lot of the stores do have, if they have premium brands, they're usually on the higher end. You are seeing Noro a lot, you're seeing Malabrigo a lot. So it's nice to have an option when you need something that is a little more budget friendly. So speaking of Malabrigo, this is Malabrigo lace, and it is Hollyhock. Very, very pretty color. And this one is from Plymouth. It is meant to be dyed. I will probably just leave it this color. But this says Dye For Me Happy Feet Shimmer. So this one is superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. I don't know, again, if you can see that it sparkles, but if a yarn has sparkle, I am probably going to go for it. I got this kit at Jennifer Knits in West LA, and it is for a hat. So it's the unique crochet rib beanie, and has the yarn in here. I have been doing a lot of crochet. I think when I grabbed it, I didn't notice that the pattern itself was crochet, but I think it should make a pretty fun hat, very colorful. Then one of the yarns that wasn't actually cashmere or a cashmere blend that was at that store. And then this one I purchased at Atelier in Encino, and this is Art Yarns. I have made an Art Yarns brand scarf before. I didn't realize that it was cashmere and silk, and I used the yarn for a illusion knit scarf and got halfway through and needed another set. So I found out what yarn it was, and about had a heart attack, because the yarn itself is probably about $300 worth of yarn in the whole. I paid for half of it, but the other one was like a gift from years ago that I used. So I got the matching one. I love the scarf. It's incredibly soft and very, very pretty. But this one is their Merino Cloud. It's merino and 20% cashmere in a very, very nice kind of a plummy color. And then at the other Atelier, the one that is in Redondo Beach, I got Prism yarn. This color is called Lipstick. This yarn itself is Delicato, and it's 100% Tencel yarn. But I thought the color was just absolutely gorgeous, and the Tencel should have a beautiful drape, whatever I end up making with it. And the fun part was at Atelier, they gave you free gifts, so I got like a little trinket from the one up in Encino. I thought it was a deck of cards, but it's actually like a little pin case or notions case. And then at the one in Redondo Beach, I actually got the bags came with a couple skeins of yarn. This one is called Hermosa, and it's a L'Atelier exclusive yarn. And there were 2 skeins of this that were in the kit. So since I had the Tencel one, and it matches pretty well, I think, I might use these all in the same project. But those are the yarns that I got because I was able to clear up some space. I was able to put a lot of yarn away, but I also had to buy a storage container that all of this is going in. So that'll get it up out of the way, makes my room look a lot cleaner where I have my yarn, and can't wait to see what else I make with it. So stay tuned, and as I get projects done, I'll go ahead and update. Thanks so much. Remember to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or want to comment on any of the work I've done, go ahead and leave that in the comments and I'll get back. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day.